On this episode, I find a beautiful, unspoiled and almost rust-free Corolla Ae86. Okay, I wanted a nice, easy project for the winter, and my buddy, he hit me up with this. So I always wanted to do an Ae86. I said, sure, why not? So I decided to rent a small unit to do the initial parts cleaning and bodywork. So I prepared the unit, and parts started coming in, and more parts, and there's a lot of parts, basically 3 whole cars. So I'd filled the entire unit, so I had to catalog and sell off some stuff to make room for the car. Then the car showed up, and I quickly put it on the spit and got down to it. It was pretty gone, but I like a challenge, so I just got right down to cutting all the rod out. I actually ended up removing a lot before I started putting it back together. At that time, the world was kind of sucked dry of Ae86 body panels, so I got hold of some photo panels and made them fit. Had to redo the fronts and the rears, so in some places I had to cut out whole sections to make new pieces, all the way from bottom layer and work my way out. New frame rail pieces, a lot of new pieces. So as I worked my way through it, I covered the finished metal with a primer, both to, make it look a little better, and also to kind of have a bearing on how far I've come, and also to hide some of the surface rust for later, so it wasn't so discouraging. And I know this was never going to be a concourse restoration, but I think the only other alternative for this body was the scrapper, so I pressed on and did the best with what I had. At some point in this endless grinding and welding fiesta, I took a step back and I kind of realized that most of the body was done, so I got started on the doors and hatches. They were pretty much gone too, so all of the rust in the body and doors has been covered with some thick black body coat, so I guess in an attempt to give it another few years of life, maybe to hide the rust, I don't know. So I had to get rid of that before I got into cutting rust, so I took my time to get it all prepped for cutting, and I ended up removing about 4 inches of door skin and about 1 inch of the inside bottom of the door, so made new skins with a folded bottom and remade the rest of the doors. Then I started looking at the front fenders. Apart from surface rust, a few pieces that needed replacing, it was kind of quick work, so started to fit all body panels, over fenders, skirts, bumpers, everything, to get them lining up before resealing the entire car and putting on some body coat. So not only did this look really great, it was a huge mental boost that I really needed at that time to press on with the car, because this was probably a year in something like that in this quick project. So used that momentum to start taking apart all the components for the suspension, started building new lower control arms. I had this jig from doing a lot of lower control arms for my drift cars, so setting up and cutting was pretty easy. Got them put back together, extended about 40mm and strengthened quite a bit. Put some paint on and they look like brand new. So at the same time, I started pulling apart and rebuilding all the parts for the engine bay, Having access to an ultrasonic cleaner made it really fast. Just cut all the grime and dirt off, so everything was ready for paint and prep. Got the old strut towers, made new short stroke ones, combined with adjustable top plates and some threaded sleeves. I made my own coilovers. Having cut out basically the whole back end of the car, I needed new tank straps. So made a new set. Put on some sound deadening, cut to original spec, and then went to work on the rear diff. Got it cleaned out. A lot of debris inside actually, so luckily no teeth, just crap from everything. So got it wire brushed, painted, redid the hubs, the new bearings and everything. Also got to take my brakes apart. They were all really done, so had to replace everything. Well, that turned out really good after some paint and new parts. Got some rear coilovers from BC Racing and replaced the old fuel pump with a fuel lab. Cleaned up engine bay plastics and put together parts for starting to put some things back on the car. Finally. Then my wheels showed up. Alright, sprayed the inside of the car and the engine bay in preparation for putting all the new stuff back. Then was back to fitting all the body panels and parts in preparation for moving the car. And then finally putting some wheels on it and setting it down on the ground and making it basically a car, a roller. Next time I move the car, I run out of space, fiberglass work starts, and more rust. And rubber, also rubber. Stay tuned!